Hi there, it's Mark Wickersham here, helping the accounting profession master value pricing, and in this video we're going to look at one of the big challenges I hear from accountants and particularly bookkeepers, and that is, how do you value price cleanup work? And by cleanup work, just so we're clear and we're on the same page, I mean sorting out the books and records. Perhaps when we take on a brand new client and they haven't done the bookkeeping for 6 months, they haven't reconciled their bank account, we need to fix that before we can start doing the current work, whether it's bookkeeping, annual financial statements, whatever. So how do we do that? And I'm going to share with you four ideas that you should think about when you are pricing cleanup work. The first of those is with value pricing. We need to make sure that we are pricing based on value. The problem is, what's the value of cleanup work? We have to make sure that we become better at communicating that to the client so they understand it. They don't see any value in the process of doing the cleanup work, and so we need to become better at communicating and explaining what their life will be like after it's all sorted out. The fact that we're going to take away all the hassles, the stresses, the problems they're currently facing. And they probably are having some problems. It may be they've come to you for help with cleanup work because they are behind and they're getting pressure from the tax authorities, or they're not sure who they should be invoicing, they're not collecting their cash. And so let's paint a picture of the pain and the big benefits when they then sort it out, or when you sort it out. Second idea for you is, I talk a lot about menu pricing, giving the client 3 options, and this applies just as much to cleanup work. We can always create different choices for the client. For example, you might decide that your normal cleanup process is the middle package, but it may be that we have an entry-level cleanup package where the client does some of the work. So if it turns out when we reveal the price is outside their budget, we can always then work with them to change to a different package where they do some of the work, making your life easier, and they get a price that they can afford. And at the other end, we could do a more expensive premium package where we might do things faster, or it might be that we build in some training so they don't get into this mess again. We can always create different versions of the cleanup package, and then we can let the client choose which one they value the most and a budget they can afford. Idea number 3. What we should be doing is making sure when we price cleanup work that we properly factor in the scope. And that's probably the biggest thing I get from particularly bookkeepers, that they've tried value pricing cleanup work and it went horribly wrong because it was a bigger mess than they thought, and so they've gone back to the old-fashioned time-based billing, which is a shame. The problem is we've not scoped out in the first place properly. So we need to make sure that we use our expertise, our experience, to understand what are all the different things that can go wrong. We need to make sure we are really clear about the state of the books and records so that we can give an appropriate value-based price that also ensures that we make a profit on the job. So we have to learn to become better at scope. Fourth and final, but what if we have no idea what the scope is? Because one of the problems with cleanup work is we don't know the extent of the mess, how much is wrong, until we get started. And so one of the things that we can do with any project where there's uncertainty over scope, is we can break it down into milestones, into separate phases. And so the first phase might be a diagnostic phase where we charge a price for going in and doing some preliminary work, starting to do some work, enough work to identify what the full extent of the problem might be. And then once we've finished that diagnostic phase, we can present a brief report to the client setting out what we've found and then what our recommendations are. And then if the client wants us to fix those things, we can then do a value-based price for phase 2 of the program, the project. And it may be we have 3, or we could break it down to more than just those 2 milestones. So there's 4 quick ideas for you to help you value price cleanup work. If you want any more help, you'll find below this video somewhere, I put some links for you to some free stuff. I run a monthly training program, training webinar every single month. So if you want me to teach you value pricing, it's complimentary. Click on the link, register for the training, the webinars, and I will help you. And if you find this valuable, please like the video with a thumbs up, share it, and I'll see you again online or on video very soon. Bye for now.